you don't have a book that teach you how to be a parent. So you got to do it on your own. You just have to take it step by step.
Hi, I'm Tia Harrison, co-owner of Home Instead in Oak Park, and I am so excited today to bring to you the first of what I hope is many episodes of Lessons with Leroy. Leroy, my dad, is so befitting today on Father's Day to film the very first episode. So, Dad, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Oh, yes, I bet you are. So, with today being Father's Day, we are going to talk about fatherhood. And I'm going to take you way back. As the father of 5 children, did you plan on having 5 children?
No.
No. How many did you plan to have?
Well, I figure 4 was really enough.
Mm-hmm.
But, so happened.
Oops, there she is, being the youngest of 5. I hear you. So let's go back to the very first. Did you plan for that? The first pregnancy, the first child? Was it a surprise?
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. How did you all deal with that?
Got married.
Mm-hmm. You do what you have to do.
Yeah.
How did that change your lives, having a child?
It taught me the lesson of being a father. Mm-hmm. I had to survive. I had to maintain the household.
Yeah, and one more mouth to feed.
That's right.
Would you say that those were tough times or fairly good?
Well, it was a trophy then. Mm-hmm. But working hard, we were pretty successful.
Okay. So you have 3 girls and 2 boys. Did you notice a difference in raising, a different energy, a different skill set needed, if you will, parenting boys versus girls?
Yes, the boys were outside, taking care outside, and the girls taking care inside. I really didn't have to do too much in the house. I just worked and provided the money to do that, so they worked out fine.
So the boys took care of the outside, the girls took care of the inside. As they got older, how did that change in terms of parenting teenagers versus when they're little, running around and doing their thing?
Well, when they growed older and got to be teenagers, the rules already set for them.
Uh-huh.
They went out, but they had a certain time to be in. And if they weren't in, they had to answer to me.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that because I think we're getting into disciplined conversation now. So, but before we go into discipline, rules. One of the rules was you had a certain time when you go out. I'm just curious because, rules change over time. How long were they able to stay out and at what age?
Well, when they were teenagers, up to about 16, 17, that rule pretty stiff. When they got 18, 19, they had a little grace. They could stay out till 11, 12 o'clock. But then they must be in a while. You had to know where they was at.
Well, that hasn't changed a lot. I think parents are still, I like to think that parents are still setting curfews for their children.
Yeah, but they don't care too much now. What time they come in, what time they leave, where they at. It's just a different outlook on life now. And with boys, you had to know where they were, what they were doing, who they were with, because boys get into things that hard to get out of.
Well, I think girls can get into some things too.
Girls now, during those times, girls out there progressing where they were just as bad as boys.
Nowadays, is what you're saying. Yeah. So you kept a close tab on the boys.
That's right.
So let's talk about other rules that you had in your house for your children.
Oh, they must go to church
Okay.
I taken them when they were smaller. I taken them to Sunday school. I taken them to service. And when they got older, they knew they had to go to church on Sunday.
What about education?
Education, they must go to school and they must get their lesson. They must obey the teacher. But the teacher already had hers, so she was trying to teach them.
Did you have to deal with many or any disciplinary issues with any of your girls or boys?
Yeah, with the boys, yeah. Yeah. When they got out of the Catholic school, they started to go into born, they were goofing off.
Uh-huh.
And they were playing and going on. They wouldn't obey their teacher. So I taken them out of the born and put them in Academy of St. James, which is an all boys school. They had to obey the teachers there, though they would get the pell. So Junior was fell in 8th grade, but when I put him in all boys school, he came out the veil of the class.
Oh, wow.
Dwayne was still a little wild, and when they came over to the school on Cottage Grove there.
Hills?
Yeah.
Franciscan?
Yeah. But the teacher kind of straightened him out. Had a man disciplinary action. He helped me to straighten him out.
Gotcha. It sounds like when your children were in school, it was more of a community and more of a village approach to raising them, that the teachers and the parents partnered
Yeah.
in, getting the job done.
Yeah.
Different today. Not that the teachers are not partnering with, the parents, but I think it's just a different dynamic. It might just be a little bit more difficult to make that connection with families than it was in the past. So education was important, following the rules in terms of, when they needed to be back in the house, going to church was important. So before we get into raising girls, let's talk about raising men. What disciplines do you feel that you instilled in them that made them the men that they are today?
Well, I started them to work earlier. Before they was of age to get a job, I put the age up where they got a job, because with me working with this park district, I could get them on.
Mm-hmm.
So I got them on there when they were 14, 15 years old during the summer. They had job with them during the summer, and during the fall and winter, they worked with a landscaping crew. And Dwayne was always the type that was really ambitious on working.
Mm-hmm.
He saved up his money. And when he got out of high school, he started to work for the steel mill as a machinist specialist. He was supposed to come out with a degree. But by him being a little wild, he work during the night and then party all day and go.
Party during the day, or work during the day and party during the night?
No, you work at night and he was party during the day.
Oh, you did get that right.
Yeah. So he went to sleep in one of the tubes at the steel mill. He'll sleep at night to go up in there and sleep. And they caught him sleeping. And they gave him a choice to either quit or get fired.
Oh, I never heard this story.
Yeah. No, I got him a job to go to school for a bricklayer, and he went down there and he didn't like that. So he had to drop out of there. So I gave him a choice to either get a job or go to school.
And is that when he went to school for engineering, electrical engineering?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that you introduced him to those various trades beforehand. Now I see why he's so good with his hands.
Yeah.
And doing things around the house.
Yeah, he finished at Corn Electrical School, where he went to University of Illinois for while, and then he went up to Corn Electrical School, finished there. Then after he worked for the city there for a while, and then he went back to school for the electrician for a master's degree or whatever. So he finished that. So he did all right. Junior, he was going down to SIU for 3.5 years until he was in love with a girl. And after he found out she was going out with another guy, so he came back to the city and said he couldn't stay in the city no longer.
Heartbroken. He wanted to distance himself.
So he and his mother sat around and cried a while over it. Then he wanted to go down to Texas, down to where Gwen and them were.
So that's how he ended up in Houston.
That's where he ended up in Houston. My wife gave him one of the cars to drive down there, but I wanted the car back, but I never did get it back.
With you sharing that story, I can't help but asking, there's sometimes difficult conversations that you have to have with children, giving them advice that they don't want to hear. I can't help but wondering, what advice did you give Leroy at that time when he was heartbroken and hadn't finished school?
Well, I paid his tuition at DePaul, but they didn't do that 4 months or whatever it was, and he didn't go out one day. So I just lost that money. So I told, okay, you finish school wherever you want to now. So he went down to Houston, Texas, and he worked in a back down. He worked in a tobacco farm. And it take him near 2 years to get that 4 months done. But then he finally graduated from there. But I told him I was through with spending money on it.
Were you really?
No, not really. Not really, but I had to.
You had to say that.
Yeah. Thought I was. But his mother wasn't nailed it through spending money on it.
Would you say that you have daddy's girls and mama's boys?
Yeah. But the girls, Gwen, she had a full scholarship to University of Wisconsin. She went for 3.5 years, and she found out she couldn't stand the food.
The food?
Yeah. So she came back home and worked there that summer, and then she went down to Roosevelt. So that's why she supposed to finish there. Brenda, she went to every college you could name just about. From Malcolm X to Southern University to Arkansas State.
Prairie View,
and still didn't finish that. She came back to Chicago and finished at Chicago State.
And ended up getting a degree in nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, the only one that didn't go to private school, to Catholic school. You finished at Kenwood. And said you knew what you were about, you know what you were going to do.
Well, you know what? It's just important that we all got there. We all reached our place where we needed to be, when we needed to be.
Yeah. It costs more. You cost more than all the rest of it. But
he's feeling the wrong to you now.
Yeah. But driving on the camper where I get a sheet of tickets every month. Where you would park wrong.
Well, let me tell you the philosophy behind that, and then we're going to get off the subject of me. But the philosophy was I was trying to park as close to my classes as I possibly could so I wouldn't be late.
It wasn't, then you have to get up early.
Obviously, that wasn't something that was instilled in me at a young age. Because I'm still running late, Daddy. Well, we're going to switch to topic a little bit. We talked about the boys. Talk a little bit about the girls, parenting, young ladies. And I guess, focusing on fatherhood and raising men is very important to talk about. But what about raising daughters and teaching them to be a lady as a man?
They had to care for us too. And if they were going to leave with a fella, they had to bring the fella to bring back home. Don't leave with one bag, come back with another one.
And he had to come in
Yeah.
and you had to meet
Yeah.
him before.
Yeah, the boy will come in and they're sitting downstairs. Gwen or Brenda will introduce me to them, and they'll be sitting up at their back to me. I tell them, okay, get on your feet.
Get on your feet and do what?
Look at me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't even know who you meet.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the boy pretty real straight. They knew what they had to do if they come to the house. So they respected me. And, every New Year's Eve, we give a party for all the teenagers in the neighborhood. And although they never had the proper one. Teenagers they knew what was happening.
They respected you and
Yeah.
that's good.
When they just first started in drugs, reefer and stuff, I tell the boys if anybody approach them, tell them to talk to me first.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't talk to me. So that stopped that. And I was working day and night to see that they had the thing they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't need to go in the drug.
Yeah. Let's lighten it up a bit. What are some of your fondest memories of parenting, of fatherhood?
Well, it was a lot of fun with kids. And every once a week we will have a discussion around the table, breakfast table. They tell me what I was doing, what they thought I should do, or I was wrong about this. And it would help, If I felt that I was wrong, I said, well, I was wrong for doing this, saying this, and if they were wrong, I tell them they were wrong.
So roundtable discussion. See, I'm learning some things here that I didn't know existed in the family. So does that include your daughters and your sons?
It was a lot of fun raising the kids. The boys was in the scouts, I taught them about the guns and all this. You don't have a book that teach you how to be a parent. So you got to do it on your own. Right from wrong, wrong from right. You just have to take it step by step and teach them the way you think they should go. And I think I did a pretty good job.
I think you did too.
Yeah.
I definitely think you did. So as we close this interview, what lesson would you leave with fathers today on parenting and being a father?
With being a father, I think they should be God-fearing and honor the father and the mother, and that they should be lengthened in this world. But I think parents take part in the kids' activity too much. They drink with them, they smoke with them, they use drugs with them, and I just don't think that should be.
Mm-hmm. Stop trying to be their friend and be the parent.
And friend and their parent. I just don't think that should work.
Well, thank you, Dad, for spending this time with us. There we have another, or the very first life lesson with Leroy, and hope to have more conversations with you in the coming months. This is all about life lessons with Leroy. What do you think the world needs to hear from you?
The real leadership.
Leadership. I said, what do you think the world needs to hear from you, our audience?
Marriage.
Marriage. Ooh, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two adults married, they should respect each other. They should honor each other, and don't take other people's word for anything that they don't know or haven't seen, don't know nothing about. Take other stranger name over the husband name or the wife's name. I think they should stick together unless it's something that's so openly that you could see, anybody could see. So,
Okay, hold that thought because that's the next lesson, the next life lesson with Leroy. Marriage.